Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam. How are you doing?
I'm good, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm good. How about you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good too. Thank you. Okay, yeah, let's continue with our today's lecture. Today is our
Okay.
11th lecture, and what we are going to discuss is basically we will understand how to support and maintain a network infrastructure. Okay, so whenever you want to support or maintain the overall infrastructure of your network, you need to do some really hard and fast steps that will help you to maintain its overall efficiency. So, for the sake of the first topic from the fourth hello, we will evaluate the use of external network suppliers. Here we
Yes,
will
continue, ma'am.
evaluate the yes, and evaluate the use of external network suppliers. So, we will discuss first. We will understand the concept of evaluation. When we are concerned with evaluation, the term evaluate is basically whenever you are doing the process of evaluation, what you need to see is you need to see all the weaknesses, the benefits, the similarities, dissimilarities of the process, and you need to make sure that everything is explained well, and you need to cross check it as well. So let's move to the topic. Whenever you are dealing with external network suppliers and you want to make a concise network where if you are dealing with the external suppliers who are providing you their services, you need to manage them. So how you can manage them? You need to do some steps for that, as I told you. So what is the thing that you will do first? First, you need to manage the expectations from them. Like what are they expecting from your side? Like if you are dealing with multiple suppliers who are giving you their services in your network, definitely it's a challenging task to manage multiple suppliers whenever you are working in a larger network. So, managing expectations, what is it? This process is actually, it is a communicative process. It makes it clear to all the parties involved what they should expect and when. So what you discuss in this point, basically, you share all the possible outcomes that you can provide to them, and whatever the things that you are like going to expect from them as well. Like whenever you are managing the expectations, it will be a as it's a communicative process, communication always happens or it generates between two parties. So whenever you will be dealing, you will share your desired outcomes that you are expecting from them, and ultimately they will let you know whatever they are expecting from you. This is an ongoing process because whenever we are dealing with people, multiple people, and in the flow of working, we are definitely having different expectations at different steps, and ultimately we need to update them. So everything should be documented, because whenever you know whatever the things are uh, coming from the all the stakeholders expectations, then you can manage them properly. For example, if there is a delay against an agreed date, this need to be communicated to the party expecting a service. Now if a network service provider is providing you the services and you are getting their services, but somehow he or she is having some delays in the delivery, or due to some very technical issues they are like not able to meet the deadlines, what they need to do is they need to let you know before time. And if it is not communicated to you properly, then you will definitely be expecting the service from them, and ultimately it will give you a very negative experience, and ultimately you will not be very happy in this overall experience. So what you need to do is you need to manage the expectations before the process happens, because it's really needed for good experience, like good user experience. Then the second thing that you need to check for the external network suppliers is the contract. Contract is basically something very legal that happens between two parties whenever they are going to make up a deal, or start working on some like some same platform, or for a specific range of time. So what we do is basically we do a proper legal documentation that helps us to know whatever the process is going to happen. So what you need to do here is first you need to separate out the external suppliers from the internal suppliers, because it is really necessary step, because you need to know whenever you are making the contract for the external suppliers, definitely it will be quite different from the contract of internal suppliers, because the internal suppliers are the ones who are already your team members, and external are the ones who are just outsourcing their services to your platform. So it's necessary. First, you need to separate them out, because different processes are used to manage them. So it will be easier if you are having separate suppliers. External suppliers usually revolve around contracts, dealing with such issues as purchasing versus lease. Let's suppose if we are working in an organization where we are going to have the services of a network service provider, we are going to purchase a release of a software or a network, or we need to like get it for single year or for multiple years, or it's sole sources versus the alternate sourcing. It depends upon your needs, in sourcing versus outsourcing, and myriad of maintenance and support options. So what you need to do is basically you need to first clarify your expectations, what you are expecting from the client or from the external supplier. Then you need to make up the documentation. Then whenever you are creating the contract for them, for the external suppliers, what you need to do is you need to clarify all the terms that you are going to work on, like which kind of software or network you are going to purchase from them, what is the time duration that you are like asking for the services, and how you are going to manage everything. Everything needs to be properly done. IT personnel have a variety of alternatives to exercise with supplier contracts. So there are multiple varieties. Whatever the contract is based on, either you are going for a single year contract or multiple year contract, or it's going to be renewed both parties want to or not, and what are the terms and conditions for that contract to happen. So everything that is needed for that contract, you will be discussing it. Managers can renew, modify, upgrade, downgrade, extend, shorten, renegotiate, cancel, ignore, or bid on a contract. It depends upon the people who are going to make up this agreement. So, external suppliers include not only the hardware, software, and consulting companies, but facilitation companies, the public utilities, police and fire, business recovery services, and emergency response groups. All these services that are provided to the organizations are for the external suppliers. Now, if we are only talking about the networking side, like the network infrastructure, where we are dealing with the network, external network suppliers, then they will definitely be the ones who are going to give us the maintenance of the network. Someone may be giving us the like the backup of our network. Someone may be giving us some of the database kind of services to our network. Everything is depending upon different people. Maybe we are not having our developer on site, and what we can do is we can get an external network developer, and we can arrange a specific kind of contract that will be like whenever our developer will be back on work, what we can do is we can quit that agreement or contract. So these are the things that you need to share before time with the external suppliers in order to make a easier and concise experience with them. So just let me know, is it clear? The contract and the expectations points, are the clear, or do you have any question regarding them?
No, ma'am, all clear.
Okay, let's continue with the service level agreements. And this kind of agreement is intended to document the procedures for support of campus data networking services and get service level expectations for these services. So definitely it's kind of the similar thing that we have done previously, but what you can expect here, here you will get the campus data networking services, and like as for the specific range of area, you will get these networking services, and then you can get the expectations for this particular level. Further, this document specifies ComTech services level. ComTech basically the communication type of services that you may need in your network to get, and commitments applied to network performance and support for all network and OIT desktop and application support customers. So what you need to do here is you need to manage everything at the service level. Whatever the services you are getting, you need to document them. And whenever we are working with a proper system, like if you have got the desktop or um, application support kind of services from some people, you need to have a proper agreement. Definitely without an agreement we cannot proceed in such in-depth steps, because when you are getting the like let's suppose an application that is giving you the customer support, so definitely you need to have an agreement that will let you know what are the precedents that you are going to get and what level of expectation you can have from this overall process. This agreement is reviewed annually and approved by the Associate Vice Chancellor of Finance and Information System and the Vice Provost for Information Technology. And these are the like the key people who are going to review this annually, and ultimately they will make up their decisions. So, in this way, you can make a proper agreement with your external service providers, and you can um, like make the process work easier with the flow, because you don't need to worry whenever you have a service level agreement, because you can do whatever you want. And the services that basically you can expect here are the like for the service level agreement, what are the services that you can expect? It could involve the gateway services, the firewall services, the remote access or wireless services. All these services for your network will help you to make the like the process work easier. Most of the organizations are not having their own firewalls installed into their network. What they do is they simply get a licensed company or an external supplier, and ultimately they make up the like the service, and ultimately they get it done, and they can simply secure their network from the external threats, and vice versa for all the other services like the remote access and all the services. Next, the thing is the network performance. And whenever you are dealing with the performance of a network, what you need to manage is the reliability and responsiveness of your network, like how well the network is behaving to the audience and to all the users who are going to access it. So, whenever we are talking about the performance of a network, there are some external stakeholders who are basically like linked with your organization to make the performance of the overall network work even better, because sometimes the internal suppliers or the developers are not able to make up the network that is going to give you a highly recommended performance of the network. So you need to outsource some people who will give you a good performance experience by making some of the changes to the flow of the overall process. And the next thing is the network support. As we were talking about the maintenance and support services that are given to the networks in order to make the experience better, we can get the troubleshooting. Like if there is any kind of error occurring, you can get a troubleshooter who will help you to troubleshoot the problem. Like what are the causes of this problem and how you can like avoid this problem in future. Then the maintenance, the new services and customer satisfaction are the things that you can add into your network from the external suppliers, and all these services could be added to your network with the help of legal like the services that you can add to your system. And this will be a proper agreement. With the help of the agreement you can easily manage the overall process. Then we have the KPIs, and KPIs are basically the key performance indicators in our network. When you are dealing with the key performance indicators, basically these are the benchmarks by which optimal network performance is determined. So previously we were talking about the service level agreements. When you are doing such kind of agreements, you need to have a proper like just like KPIs that will help you to like get the optimized performance of the network. And How you can get it done? You can track the performance against KPIs, help network managers make proactive decisions to ensure agreed service level are met. So previously we have created an agreement. Now with the help of the KPIs, what you can do, you can track the performance. Either the person who has added to your services, like to your network, has added the like the performance or good performance level of the overall network to your system or not. So definitely when you are not having good performance in your network, definitely there is no one who is like willing or properly willing to track the performance of the network. That's why you are lacking in the performance. So whenever you have outsourced a person who is going to give you that services, now you need to have a proper and definitely a professional person who will let you know like how you can track the performance against these like the service level agreements that you have already created. KPIs provide a quantifiable measure against which the network team can make fact-based decisions around infrastructure investment, performance, and demand. It depends upon everything, like how well your network is overall behaving and how you can manage every component of it. So whenever you are dealing with such things, you can make up a better decision. Which KPIs do you use to measure the network performance? Key performance indicators are not just for evidencing performance levels to others. They are an invaluable tool for you, enabling you to measure and assess the quality and capability of your network. So you can check the quality of your network as well, like how well the network is dealing with the people. When troubleshooting network degradation or outages, key performance indicators are essential for determining the root cause of network latency, like why the network is lacking in their services, such as packet loss. Whenever someone has sent a package and the package is not delivered fully, then there is a packet loss. So you need to track what is the root cause of that packet loss, the saturation, the bandwidth hog, our interface and network device outages, like why everything is lacking in the services, like in providing the services. You can get the root cause of all these things. So whenever you want to manage or troubleshoot the overall process, you can do it with the help of proper KPIs that will let you know how you can track the performance of your network. What we measure through the KPIs, first we can get the device or the network's health, like how well the network is working. Device availability, like how well it is available to the like to the audience. Whenever someone connects to it, how well it is behaving like overall. Latency and packet loss, like you can check the root cause of the latency and packet loss as well. However, you can also measure like how often it's happening to your network. Then you can measure the quality of network interface, like how well or how engaging the interface of your network is to the audience. And then you can check the device specific metrics, like the like how well it is behaving, what's the performance criteria of your network, and how well your network is working in the environment, what's the uptime for your network, what's the downtime, what's the availability of your network, and all that other things. So all these things you can measure with the help of KPIs. Next, we have due diligence. Basically, it's an essential requirement of any merger and acquisition activity. Whenever in a network you want to make some merging kind of things where you are going to merge the different components, like the external components to your internal network or the network that you are already working with. It ensures the buyer knows and understand that assets it's buying any like any potential liabilities and ongoing obligations it may be assuming. So here in this point, we make sure that, let's suppose we are going to merge some of the network components to our network infrastructure. So you need to check either the network components that you are going to purchase or buy are easily accessible to you, like you are easy to use them, like it's giving you the services as per you are expecting from it to deal with, and all the other components that are working with you, you can manage through the like all the services. And uh, further you can see if there is any you can check for the performance of the network component, if there is any downtimes in the network that's already working in that component, so that you can avoid that thing before getting it to your system. In the cases of a telecommunication service providers merger or acquisition, the network may be the company's biggest asset. So, yet the extent and capability of network is assumed to be correct based on the description provided by the seller. But same as for we are talking about the other components, whenever you are in telecommunication services, what you need to check in the network, you need to check what's the definitely network is the biggest asset. Like you need to deal with every component of it. So what you need to check basically, like what is the capability of network? Either it's working fine in the network or not. If you are going to get a whole network for your organization and it's fully outsourced from some external suppliers, then you need to manage it carefully. And for the sake of managing it carefully, you need to first definitely you can rely on the documentation or description that will be provided to you by the seller, and then you need to check what's the what are the things that are not the part of that particular service. Next thing is the network uptime. Do you have any question till this point?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so just share your thoughts about network uptime, like what this point is about.
Sorry, ma'am. What do you say?
I am just asking for your what's your perspective about network uptime? Like what's it?
I have no idea now.
Okay, no problem. Let's discuss it.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever you strip away all other connotations, uptime just means the percentage of time that a system is ready for operation under normal circumstances. So, uptime is the time of the network whenever it's available for providing you the services. If the system is already working but your network is not providing you the services, that means it's a downtime for your network. So under all the normal circumstances, either if there is some exceptional cases, then then we don't consider those timings to the uptime. But if there is normal circumstances, everything is working fine, then you need to check the uptime of your network services, because it's really needed to be tracked, because you need to know the service providers are providing you the services properly or not. So it's a measure of reliability and states how long a machine or a network has been working and available, but is expressed as a percentage. Like what's the percentage of the network uptime? So we get it from the network service providers. If we are having the external network providers, they will let us know by checking the key performance indicators of our network and also doing a thorough research on our network uptime, and then let us know what's the actual percentage of the network uptime for our network in normal circumstances. It's clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
So now you can let me know what's the network uptime.
Yes, ma'am. Uptime refers to the percentage of time that a network is operational and available for use. It is a measure of the reliability of a network and is typically expressed as a percentage of the total time that the network should be available. High network uptime is important for ensuring that users have uninterrupted access to network resources and services.
Perfect. Good. Now, the uptime versus availability, like what's the difference between these two terms? Because we are concerned with the evaluation, and in evaluation, we need to see all the the strengths and weaknesses. So let's compare it with availability. Not only are these two terms not synonymous, they are two different metrics in measuring the reliability of a service. So we need to do them separately. Uptime is an indicator which let us know the percentage of how long the network is available for working. It's not a guarantee of a particular amount of availability. Okay, so uptime is an indicator. It's not a guarantee of a particular amount of availability or that all services or devices connected to a system will be available while the network itself is up and operational. So what we can do is definitely it's not a guarantee that if one time the network is available, let's suppose for 4 hours, and the availability will be same for all the days of the week. Definitely, it depends upon the circumstances. It depends upon the services that are offered and all the other things that can affect the overall network um uptime. So all the services or devices connected to our system will be available while the network itself is up and operational. Next, we have the requirements for tracking the uptime of a network. When you are tracking the uptime, it refers to the total amount of time that a system is available for end-use application. In most cases, it's communicated as a percentage of total scheduled working hours and corresponds to downtime values. So, the requirements basically are the things that you need to know, like the working hours that you have worked for, like from the with the help of your network. And secondly, you need to see the total amount of time that a system was available for the end users. So it depends upon the working hours, overall working hours, with the amount of time that the system was available for work. So both the terms will be managed to measure with the simple mathematical calculations. Then talking about the downtime, what's it basically? It's the opposite of uptime, time during which the network is not available for use. And the downtime can be due to any number of reasons, such as a server hardware issue or another data center challenge like the great Google outage, which put Gmail and other Google tools out of services for up to 20% of companies' users for just under an hour. So this just a single downtime that we can relate with, and there are multiple other services that are having downtimes and different services. Cloudflare, Azure, and Amazon Web Services all experience outages that cause downtime for system based on their architectures. So we cannot say that a system, like any system that we are dealing with, will never have a downtime, because it always happens whenever you are working within an organization or with some um computerized, or you can say that the IT components, then definitely downtimes do occur. So we need to consider them as well. Like it's really important to consider the downtimes of your network as well. So you cannot expect a system with zero downtime, because it's never gonna happen. Like the Google and the Amazon Web Services are also considering this and downtime. So that means it really happens to every network, because for the sake of sometimes we need to down the services for some maintenance tasks. Sometimes we need to do this for some other services, like if there is some error occurring, then we need to do some downtime, like the unavailability of the system for the user, so that we can do the like cover all the components that we are dealing with. And then if we are going to add new features to our system, then we need to have a downtime for our network. It will help us to make the experience even better. How to calculate the downtime percentage? Calculating your downtime percentage is not much different from calculating the uptime. Simply replace the number of hours of uptime with the number of hours of downtime, and then divide by the total number of hours in a year and multiply by 100. So what you will get is, you will get the percentage. So to get this percentage, you will simply divide the number of like the hours that the system is not available for work, and you will divide it with Okay, so we'll calculate its percentage simply by putting in the percentage formula, where you will divide with the total number of hours in a year and multiply by the 100. And note that your result should be a very like a small number, something along the lines of 0.09 for most systems. So what it is basically, it's a standard that you mostly get, but it's not like it will always happen the same way. Then let's discuss some of the pros and cons of outsourcing network support. So, starting from the benefits, it enhances the cybersecurity. Okay, starting with enhances cybersecurity. One of the most important advantages of outsourcing network support services enhancing cybersecurity, because the companies are not having their own cybersecurity. So what they do is basically they outsource the services of cybersecurity from some very well-known and established companies or the suppliers, and ultimately they can make their experience better. This area is best left to the experts, as you may lack the technical expertise to safeguard your network from malicious cyber attacks. So it's really helpful for you to make the overall network safe from the external attacks. And even if you possess the right skills, you may be unable to devote adequate time to beef up the network security strategies. Therefore, working with a third party firm could be an ideal option, because for organizations, if you are having your own internal suppliers and the team, they are definitely busy in doing their other tasks. So, for the sake of cybersecurity, you need to have a proper team who will do their services and make the system secure. The hired service provider will assume full responsibility for managing your business networks. And because they provide continuous support, you can be assured of the security of your systems and data. This goes a long way towards boosting your company's cybersecurity strategy. So, this helps you to make the overall experience of your network better and enhance the security services. Then it allows your business to cut cost. How it helps us to cut the cost? Your business future growth and expansion depend on strategic financial management. It will barely run into the future unless you are able to reduce unnecessary expenses. So when you are going to reduce the unnecessary expenses with the help of like, for example, if you are going to grow in the future, and you are making a proper management from some external suppliers, like who is going to manage all the resources that are needed for your growth and for the components that you want to enter into your network, it will help you. It will barely run into the future unless you are able to reduce the unnecessary expenses. So when you reduce the unnecessary expenses, it's definitely, it only happens with the help of some experts who are going to make a proper financial plan for your business to make the working smooth. There are various ways to cut business costs. One of the best way is through the outsourcing of IT services such as network support. So, if you are going to hire a full-fledged team, it will definitely cost you more. So, what you can do here is you can like get the services from your network support and make the process smooth. You can simply outsource some of the IT persons and they will come and give you the services. Ultimately, you are not going to hire them for like on monthly wages, and ultimately you need to pay them every month. Even you only need their assistance for a month or two, then definitely it's cost you more. Outsourcing network support allows your business to save on labor cost. Having an in-house team of IT experts entail considerable cost in terms of salaries and benefits. Also, if we are talking about the resources, like the building resources, like the electricity, the and all the other resources that you need to provide to the labor, are also the part of the main game. So here you can control the labor cost by outsourcing the work to the external suppliers and not having the internal overall IT experts team. On the other hand, the outsourced IT company gets hired only when you need them. So, whenever you need a IT personnel like a developer, like a maintainer, a maintenance officer, or any other person who, whose services your network needs, you cutting the cost. I hope it's clear to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, let's continue to the third point that you can. It's whenever you outsource some like the services from the external providers, it lets you concentrate on managing your business. Network security is a complex function that requires considerable time and dedication. Definitely, whenever you are working on security, you need to manage a lot of things. Like you need to do the troubleshooting and you need to see the malicious attacks, you need to put in the firewall, you need to manage all the components of your system working better, even though you need to manage the backup of your system and the recovery process should be done. So everything is the part of network security, and it's definitely a complex function. And ultimately, it takes considerable amount of time and dedication. For instance, you must spend several hours updating and monitoring your business networks to guard against cybersecurity threats and other risks. Definitely, if you are doing it by yourself, you need multiple hours to do that. While keeping watch over your network is essential, and also you are the one who is working with the overall network, so you need to do the watch time for your network as well. You need to see if it may cause you to neglect your core business. If you are not going to do this process effectively, then ultimately you will you will not get all the services done. You should be focusing on strategies that drive revenue and grow your company. So if you want to focus on your revenue of the company, you need to focus on driving new strategies that will let your business grow even better rather than working on the security of your network. That's not your job. If you are going to do that simultaneously, you will lose on overall core of your business, like the productivity of your business will be effective. So, for the sake of this process, outsourcing your network support, you can gain the expertise of a team of IT specialists. And with this, you can stop worrying about your network operations and devote your time and attention to crucial aspects of running your business. So, you can focus on your business, concentrate on management, like how you can manage all the components of your business and how to make it work even better. So, these are the the benefits that you can get while you do the outsourcing of um, security services. And for the sake of cons, we have loss of control as the first. One of the biggest disadvantage of outsourcing network support is losing some measures of control over your IT processes, network services, and data. This is unavoidable because the IT service provider will be the one managing your network operations. Nonetheless, you will continue to provide managerial directions and setting the expectations and desired outcomes. So, this one is it could be considered as a disadvantage, but if you are having good managerial skills, you can make it work even positively. Like if you are managing everything by your own directions, you are giving them the expectations, like how you like them to work in the overall network, then definitely they will work on the standards that you have set for them. So ultimately you will get good responses from them. If you will leave everything on them and you are just focusing on yourself and your other components of the business, then it will definitely be a troublesome factor for you to get the control on things back. However, you may be concerned about how the outsourced network management company will handle your sensitive data. Therefore, hiring a trustworthy service provider that adheres to data protection policies and standards is imperative. So, it's really needed to have a team or the service providers who are first really professional. Second, you can easily trust on them, like they are trustworthy and they are providing the services to and they are providing their services to very well known organizations already, and you can rely on them easily. The next thing is the communication problem. Effective communication plays a critical role in the success of your business. We know that without the good communication, we cannot work or make the business successful. Ineffective communication may cause delays in the completion of tasks, hampering your business operations, and this is one of the major challenges experienced by many business owners with network support services. Whenever someone is giving you the services and you are not communicating with them, you are not giving them the expectations that you are expecting from them, or the deadlines for to do the task, then they will definitely be doing everything as per their own comfort, and ultimately there will be delays in the completion of the task. So you need to suffer on the overall proficiency of your business operations. And any misunderstanding between you and your network service provider may cause serious negative implications for your business. So you need to first understand your service providers, like if they are at the compatibility of your pace, then you can continue your work with them. Otherwise, what you can do is you can simply get another service provider who will give you the proper services of the system. Before hiring a network support company, ensure their team members are proficient in English, because the English is the international language, or you can say that in the world of businesses and all the communication is done in English. So they must be proficient in English. You may also specify if you prefer specific mode of communication such as face-to-face meetings or video calls for crucial concerns. It's likewise essential to receive timely responses and updates in real time. So when you will manage everything in a flow, then everything will work smoother. Otherwise, you need to really work hard on every other component. So if you want to have good services provided by the outsourced service provider, then you need to have clear communication with them. Give them the details of the task that you want them to do and every expectation that you have from their side. So is it clear to you, or do you have any question?
No, ma'am, clear.
Okay, so now we know like the what's the role of external network suppliers, like what are the basically uses of the network suppliers that we can get externally, and what are their roles, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for the sake of question answers, there are two questions in front of your screen. You can choose one and just answer it to me.
Yes, ma'am, I'll choose the first one.
Okay, please explain.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, downtime in networking refers to the period of time during which a period of which a network or network component is not operational or available for use. This can be caused by a variety of factors such as hardware failures, software issues, or maintenance activities. Downtime can result in decreased productivity, lost revenue, and reduced customer satisfaction, making it important for network administrator to minimize its occurrence. Thank you.
Very well. Well explained. Good, Rayan. Okay, so
Thank
do
you,
you
ma'am.
have any questions for me?
No, ma'am, all clear.
Okay, here is the list of references that you can check for further details about the topic. This is all for today from my side. I hope everything is clear to you. I will see you in the next class. Till then, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am. Thank you.